It's cool to know that you can just set it up all through OBS.
Yeah,
And then I'd imagine it'll throw it onto YouTube Studio if you confirm it all through that if you wanted to.
should be working now, mate. I think.
Okay.
If you're able to join and just let me know if chat's working and stuff. Live chat.
There we go. Test 1.
Yep, spot on. Perfect, mate. So for anybody joining this after the fact, probably nobody's going to be watching this because I'm recording at 4:30 in the morning. What I'm aiming to do is measure my speed on this character on World of Warcraft and fly the entire coastline of this continent of Kalimdor. So that is going to be mainly focusing just purely on the coastline, so not kind of small coastal inlets like in Thousand Needles, I think. And I'm going to be as consistent as I possibly can and hopefully do it in one continuous flight. So we've got a measurement of speed, which we can then work out the distance around this entire continent from that and then have some fun with that kind of thing. So, yeah. Give us a little wave, mate, and we'll get going.
Give you a wave, buddy. There you go.
Alright, so time is ready to go and we're off. So I'm going to be aiming to try and stick to the coastline as much as I possibly can. There is obviously going to be some degree of measurement error with this, as I can't be going into every single little nook and cranny and flying directly over the waterline, but I'm going to do my absolute best. Anyway, so little bits like this you can expect to see me just cutting edges of those. But everywhere else I'm going to be as accurate as I possibly can, as what's the point in taking a measurement if it's not at least going to be reasonably accurate. Something I've wanted to do for a while is this kind of thing. I've played this game since I was a kid, really growing up with it, just having fun with it, and I've often wondered just how big is it, because it feels, you know, quite huge even at these modern flight speeds that we've got now. It'd perhaps be interesting to do this in classic WoW as well, obviously at a much slower speed, perhaps using Druid's swimming travel form, something like that, and kind of see how big the world was before Cataclysm as well, as it's changed a little bit, of course, after that. Could be a bit of fun. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear anybody watching, but I am joined just in chat for some moral and anti-boredom support by my friend.
Moral support for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one, I think, mate. I mean, if I wish I could have the map on a little bit easier for everybody there. So we're a minute and 43 in, and we have covered from the Orgrimmar dock to the base of Duratar. So we're actually making decent time, I'd say. I'm predicting it's going to take about 45, 50 minutes-ish. I've never done it before, of course. But we'll soon find out. That's the whole point of this.
Absolutely. So it's gonna be a long one.
I think it is, mate.
When you're doing this, yeah.
It's I don't know. I enjoy stuff like this. You know, it's a little bit odd. Probably most people have got better things to be doing in the game, but you know.
But, well, I would imagine so. I could think of a few things.
Yeah.
Their own.
It appeals to me though, yeah.
For sure.
So you may be wondering why I'm not using dragon riding. Now it's been enabled in this version of the game outside of the Dragon Isles, and that's simply just for measurement consistency. So dragon riding is very up and down in speed, of course. You can go, you know, massively fast and sometimes, you know, really extremely slow if you stall and things like that, and there's no consistency there. So what I need is what you can see on the screen right there, my speed to just be consistently 420% or 29.4 yards per second. So I can take from that a proper measurement based on time. A bit like how if you're traveling in a car at 60 miles per hour, then you're obviously traveling 1 mile per minute. We're going to be using that same sort of technique to figure this out. But yeah, so I'm thinking of... Go on, sorry, mate.
Do you have your mobile device handy?
I do, yeah.
Cool. Bidding.
Black box, no cam. Got ya. Okay. Let's try and sort out the camera 1 sec, so I'm going to stop and pause the stopwatch at the exact same time so we don't... And hopefully we can get this solved in a second.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I was tired. I've just been looking, thinking everything's fine, and then
Yeah.
it's not on, and it's just a black box.
It's fine, mate. It's fine. We're only a few minutes in. Yeah, video capture device.
I didn't want to talk over you in case because you'll be using the footage. I don't know if you'll be cropping out and stuff. So.
Oh, not at all, mate. Don't worry. It seems to be actually just messing with me. This is classic stuff, innit? Just when you want to stream.
Of course, yeah. This is why we test.
True, mate. Yeah. Yeah, this is a mess, isn't it? Wonder what's going on there. Well, tell you what, no mind. I'll delete the black box and we'll just go without webcam. So I'll pick up exactly where we left off and go. So yeah, Theramor's an island, but I think I should fly around the edge of it and include it. What do you reckon?
Oh, you're thinking of going up into the little the nooks and crannies, are you?
I'm going to go up into those. Yeah, I think I will go around Theramor Island.
Got you.
It's close enough that I should include it, I guess, in measurement.
Yeah.
Try not to get shot down with anti-flying fire.
That's a very good point.
I was messing around earlier and flew too close to, Alcaz Island.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that kicks you off your mount.
Oh.
Just punch you into the sea, yeah. Not ideal. So, looking at the map, I've missed that inlet, so I'll go map it as fast as I can. It's only a little one. We know we're going to get some degree of measurement error, don't we?
Of course, yeah.
Little bits such as even, me flying over the coast a touch there. There shouldn't be much.
I wonder if you could have gone by the fatigue line.
And gotten over to where you thinking?
Just the little fatigue line that you can see, and just done it around.
Oh,
not a separate island.
Traced the whole fatigue line.
Yeah.
Hey, there's my next stream. What are you on about?
It is. It is.
How big is the fatigue line?
After Eastern Kingdoms, of course.
That's right, mate. Then Outlands. What is the biggest, continent? Is it a known thing?
I feel like Outlands is...
I'll deliberately cut that bit to make up for the slight backtrack I did.
I think Outlands is pretty bit smaller when you compare it to something like Kalimdor or Eastern Kingdoms. No?
Right.
I would think so. You just think about typically how many zones are in Outland for,
Yeah.
like 7 or 8 compared to your 30, 40 or however many it is over in Kalimdor.
Exactly. I guess they are truly an expansion, aren't they, rather than, the base game itself that all the initial development went into.
Yeah.
I think Northrend would probably be pretty big, though, And the Dragon Isles themselves, I reckon, would probably be massive. Because you're meant to traverse those extremely quick, aren't you, on the Dragon Riding mounts?
True.
So we're just going to be reasonably accurate there. That's fine, I think. So we've been going 8 minutes now on this flight.
Oh dear. We are in for a long one.
We are, mate. We are. That said, I mean, if you look at where I started, I think the left side, we're really on the like craggy side of the continent, are we? That's I
for sure.
assume supposed to have been split by the Sundering.
Yes.
The opposite side looks a lot smoother, kind of thing, I think. But as I say, I'm not going to do the inlet, I think, because it's not actual coastline.
Yeah.
That'd be probably an estuary, wouldn't it? Important definition in a fantasy game.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say so. We'll probably cut it off here. Seems about fair. Used to be 1,000 needles, didn't it?
Did. Wasn't the biggest fan anyway.
Nah, mate. Skip it. Have you been finding Season of Discovery then?
I've been enjoying it for the most part. I feel like there could be a lot more filler content. I know everyone plays the game different, but personally for me, I think within first 36 hours, I had my full prebis.
Right.
And our max level for phase 2.
Wow.
And it was, a day later, we cleared Nomragan.
Right.
And it's very much felt like a lot of raid logging after that. There's the PvP event in Stranglethorn, which, until, everyone started to abuse it, it was quite fun.
What were they doing to abuse it in particular? Because I've not actually played anything of Phase 2. As you know, I mean, we raided together Phase 1.
Win trading, specifically.
Oh.
Yeah, they'd get into, like, a few groups of 5 and just farm each other for the blood.
Really?
Yeah,
and that was just the meta?
It was, yeah.
I think we'll cut those little fingers.
I think once win trading came to be, a few days after that, you'd see people with the mounts that cost essentially a gold each. You kill a player, you get, I think it's like 5 copper for every player kill.
Right.
Obviously, every 100 copper is 1 silver, and then 100 silver is a gold, which, you spend a gold, you get a mount. Or 2 mounts, you'd see people with both. Same with the Arathi Basin rep. You can also use your copper and silver to buy, I think it's 1 silver to buy some rep with Arathi. you know, the PvP
Right.
reputation. People farmed that up to Exalted as well within, I think you can do it in like 2 or 3 days.
Crikey.
So
Probably a lot of work though. I mean,
I wouldn't say so. I mean, you log in every, what is it? Is it every 3 hours?
so that was the frequency of that kind of battle.
Yes. I believe every 3 hours. Might have been 4, could be wrong. I believe it was 3. I believe it is 3. Haven't done it myself. Still, I think, friendly with Arathi.
Hmm.
I did get my PvP dagger. I think on the first day.
From your rep there, yeah.
Doing STV. But yeah, I
can't.
as win trading came a thing, it kind of just took the enjoyment out of doing the event for me.
Right. I mean, is it because everybody were participating in that, or just did it feel like doing anything else just didn't make sense with your time, kind of thing? I mean, once you've done the event,
yeah, I mean, you've done it. You know, it's just like everything. As soon as you've done it once, right? And
yeah.
I enjoyed the big fights in the first day or two of the STV event. But when win trading became a thing, you didn't get that anymore. You'd see, you know, you'd go to like a far corner of flipping STV, and then you'd see like 2 or 3 groups just killing each other over and over again.
Right.
Every time they got capped on the blood, they'd go hand it in and then go back to the spot.
Oh.
I would have thought that there would have been some, you know, repercussions to it, but as far as I'm aware, nothing happened. I mean, one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it is just in case there were repercussions, of course.
Didn't want to get like banned and miss raid lockouts and things.
Or just in general banned, to be honest.
Yeah.
As good as I would have probably been at the time to miss a few raids, you know, it's not the end of the world, but you know, a little mark going against your account that you've had for since Classic.
True, yeah. You've had yours a long time as well, haven't you? I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
It's I don't know. There was something about Season of Discovery early on that I was really enjoying. But I don't know if, I mean, I haven't played, of course, that second phase, and now coming into third phase. But do you feel like the magic's still there a bit, or was there something about that first part of the season?
I think phase 1 was great. Absolutely loved it. Phase 2, I felt like it didn't hit the same. I felt like the appeal for me personally went a little bit. I mean, I still logged in twice a week. I did my raids. I made sure I, you know, had my consumes. But I don't know. I'm hoping this, you know, for phase 3 it's a little bit different. I'd like to hope that they might have learned from how phase 2 were.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I mean, it's just a matter of time. I guess we'll see.
How did Gnomrigan feel then compared to BFD?
It was a lot more mechanical. I won't say it's hard. I mean, I think we cleared it within the first 2 days. With some people that are just freshly dinged, never mind people that were pre-bis.
Right. Fair enough. So not overly challenging or anything.
Not I think.
But you will have been organised and good players.
Of course, yeah. You know, if everyone does what they need to do once they understand the mechanics, then it's kind of just a breeze.
I don't think
just like everything, really. I guess.
Should cover that bit. That's a river. Go on, sorry. Yeah, so once everybody knows the mechanics, of course, it's a breeze, yeah.
It's kind of just a breeze, yeah.
A bit like BFD then, I mean, because I remember we got those asses handed to us a few times by Kelleris, and then, of course, it were super easy once we knew what to do.
For sure. I think the difference from the BFD to the Noma raid was, if you, in a nutshell, every boss in BFD will just stand in and hitting.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a lot more personal things that you need to do in Noma.
Right.
You know, you've got to coordinate people going out on certain bosses to like take a buff, otherwise, you know, you can potentially work a raid. Of course, there's a thermoplug where you've still got to do the bombs
Mm-hmm.
and the buttons, which takes away obviously heals and DPS from the boss itself.
Right.
So there's a few more, you know, personal mechanics that you've got to do, otherwise you still could wipe the raid, if not done correctly.
I'm with you. So in that scenario, it does sound a bit more dangerous than.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely more dangerous. Yeah, just more challenging, which is always, you know, it's always welcomed for sure.
Yeah. Although I do worry that, you know, if it gets like too challenging, it's going to lose that spark of classic again.
Maybe.
Just, you know, like one of the things I liked about classic, is that, you know, you could play with anybody. They didn't have to be great at the game kind of thing. You could just have a good time.
Yeah.
A bit like if you try, let's say, retail like that, you're going to be looking at you're limiting your content options kind of thing, which I don't care about. It's fine for me, but it would put off a lot of people. You know, you couldn't do certain difficulties in Mythic Plus or certain tiers of raid content. You know, you probably won't be making it past normal if some of the people you played with were, you know, like really bad, for example. I don't really want to say that, but whereas classic, I think it would kind of, from what I understand, you know, a good chunk easier than what retail is now, and more fun for it.
Yeah, I think back when we first started playing, though, I mean, I started playing it in classic.
Yeah, me too.
I think back then, because nothing were really fleshed out, it weren't expected. Whereas I think when classic got re-released, I feel like there was then a curve. Yeah, you could technically go in with your greens and your blues, and
Absolutely.
You could kill a boss in a raid, but if you wanted to like find a pickup group or well, yeah, just like a pickup, you know, pug.
Yeah.
You had to have either the gear score to back it up, or you had to have your experience within them raids.
So
and obviously that's all logged on, you know, your WoW logs and such.
True. Yeah.
People now religiously just check.
I was gonna say, I think logging more like practically. I mean, I know it was done, but it was practically not a thing back in original classic. You know what I mean? I remember sometimes I think raids would get logged in TBC as part of one of my old guilds, but it wasn't a common thing. You know what I mean? So
I'd hate to think of what like a 14, 15-year-old me would have logged back then.
Yeah. You'd have logged a good time, mate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I weren't knowledgeable whatsoever.
No, but I suppose that's when the game's at its most fun, though, still, because it's got that magic of discovery, and
absolutely,
there's places you haven't been yet and things like that, and like this, I mean, stuff you still haven't done.
It's sad to think that I'll never get, you know, that feeling and that magical feeling.
Yeah.
Like I did when I first played World of Warcraft again on any other game.
I know what you mean. I feel like the launch of Season of Discovery had it a little bit for me. I really, really enjoyed that, you know, playing with everybody again, and even though the game we all knew, it felt a little new again, because there was that element of discovery, things as yet that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which really added to it for me. You never knew if you were gonna stumble upon a different rune or something like that, which I did a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to what you were talking about before, then, do you think when Classic launched, like retail brain had already permeated into the culture so deep that it was doomed from the start, kind of thing, in terms of measuring up to original Classic, that experience?
I think, yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you want to, if you want to raid and stuff like that, I think, especially nowadays, with just the generation that we live in, you've got to go in with that kind of min-max mindset,
Kind of expected, yeah. Which some people really enjoy, and I get that. Just like, sorry to interject, but obviously speaking for me,
Yeah.
I don't like it. You know what I mean? I just really fancy having a good time, not worrying too much about the rest.
Understandable. A part of me wishes that, sometimes I could just switch my brain into that mindset.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I don't know, like I say, if it's just with conditioning, we're playing this game over time, in like retail mythic raiding.
Yeah, I think that might be key, what you just brought up there. You've played in a more competitive environment than I ever bothered to. Which could, as you say, quite literally condition you towards a certain set of like expectations and goals.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Go on.
Sorry. No. I'd love you to finish.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that's exactly what it is. To be fair, just being surrounded by people that were constantly striving to do better made me want to do better.
Yeah.
And now, when I come to play World of Warcraft, I want to be able to, not necessarily be the top of the damage meters, because obviously it's very much class specific. If you're not playing the right class, you're not going to be top.
Yeah.
I want to be
up there.
I'm
doing great for your class as well.
Getting my passes, getting my 95 average plus every phase. That's sadly now for me where my enjoyment very much lies. And obviously, maybe not so much sadly, but as you mentioned, I think it'd be nice to just somehow just take that back seat again and just take the game for what it is, something to enjoy, not something that feels like I've got to put all my effort into making sure that I get a number on a website that then makes me enjoy the game.
Right, so you, like, the enjoyment doesn't come until the number validates the enjoyment.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what do you think it is that's caused that kind of thing? I mean, the WoW game has changed so much over years, and it's gotten harder and harder, and I think, we could agree on that. But is that what's forced this, kind of culture of min-max this kind of thing?
Not sure, to be fair. I mean, I'd like to say a big part of it falls onto add-ons, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the game had no add-ons and no one actually knew, except for looking at face value, like somehow by people recording the screen and then adding up every single number that they've done on a boss,
then dividing it by time.
I get, there wouldn't be a curve because no one would ever know.
True. So you think, I mean, that does make total sense, like having recount and things like that. If you've got something that's going to record a number, someone's going to be top, someone's going to be bottom. nobody wants to be bottom. You know what I mean? So that instantly adds that element of competition, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I suppose that could be the catalyst for toxicity. Dude, I don't really want to call it being toxic, but you know, it can easily get that way, can it? If you start excluding certain friends because you know you want to push a certain number, then it could feel toxic for someone else, even though it's just two people enjoying a game in a different way.
Yeah.
Is there any way back from that, do you think? If WoW cancelled all add-ons?
Imagine.
Can you imagine? People would have to relearn to play the game, though, quite literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, I think a lot of it, you know, it's kind of conditioned into your brain now what buttons you're going to press and in what order you're going to press, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think without having add-ons, and for example, like Season of Discovery, prime example, it's bringing in new, you know, not essentially new, but new for classic spells into the game.
Yeah.
So without add-ons, people would need to learn essentially how to play all over again.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess I've never really gone crazy with add-ons too much, but that's because of the environment that I choose to play in, I suppose. I'd probably have no option if I wanted to try and do, you know, mythic raiding or whatever it was. You'd have to have the add-ons to do the game because it's just, you know, it's gone so difficult, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had a friend in a previous guild back in retail, back in Legion, and I think I spoke to him in Dragonflight briefly, and there's an add-on that he uses that literally tells him what button to press next for his rotation.
Oh, I remember one like that in Wrath of the Lich King, I think, for maybe Ret Paladin.
Right.
CLC Ret or something?
Right, yeah, I have no idea.
I think there was a feral one as well.
Yeah. But he sent me a screenshot of it, and it's got like what to press next, and then
right.
faded skills for rest of his rotation.
Right.
And then they'll just keep coming forward and adding one onto back, so there's constant like 4 spells on his screen.
So you can see what's coming up next, and it's literally just whack-a-mole.
Essentially, you know, if it's very much a boss like Patchwork, for example, which is a prime example of standing and hitting. You know, if you do this rotation to what it says, and you know,
you should effectively get your simulated DPS.
Pretty much so, yeah.
As long as Rest at Raid does their job too, and you know, your kill speed is good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you know, what's the person doing though, you know, behind the keyboard? I do wonder how fun it could be, or not.
Lean back, legs up on the table.
Yeah.
South Park, you know, the evil nerd. Not so much nerd, but you know, in terms of the episode, you know, you essentially could do that on a boss like that.
Yeah,
you just able to put your feet up, eat some Doritos, you know.
To a degree, I mean,
perform to a high enough level that's acceptable.
Yeah, I think if you get good enough at your whatever your chosen class or classes are, then probably it feels like the add-on anyway. You know what I mean? You just know what's coming up next, and you know when your cooldowns are going to synchronize, and you know.
Yeah.
But it probably wouldn't work for every spec, which is, I imagine, a good thing. But then again, like you say, it could be nice actually. Now you mention it, a little bit of laid-back action, performing well at the same time.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it'd be for me.
No. Now I'm like face to the screen lately, it seems. You know,
Right.
making sure my bleeds are on.
Right.
Making sure my slice and dice is up on my rogue 100% of the time.
Really, like, min-maxing every single combo point.
Yes.
Getting the maximum value from them all, yeah.
Getting the maximum value from them, for sure, yeah.
I mean, in terms of what's brought you fun, then, I know that it's changed over time, as you've been describing there. You know, as your expectations for what you want from games change, so too has what makes it fun for you. But what do you think has been your most enjoyable period of World of Warcraft?
I think this is just like coping. Original classic for what it was.
Yeah.
It would probably just, yeah. I don't think I'd ever get that feeling back with any other game I played. It, you know, truly for what it was, just felt magical at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because of, you know, the age I was, but I'd like to also think that the older generation of people that played probably also got that same feeling back then as well.
Yeah, I think certainly that it did. I have a friend who actually got me into WoW, and he was, you know, at the time that he was playing WoW and I'd not yet been introduced to it yet by him. He was already like 35 years old, so, you know, a grown man, job, life on track kind of thing.
Yep.
And still got completely bitten, you know, by the WoW bug. Like, completely. You know, back in the day, imagine having 10 level 60s done, you know, in the time. That's a lot of work, innit? You know what I mean?
It is.
But yeah, you got me into it.
And nothing were optimized at all, you know.
Exactly.
Playtime is going to be like
huge.
40, 50 days, something like that. It's just on one character to 60 sometimes because you're just lost in this huge world. It's just kind of captivating.
And there's so many options of things that you can do to actually progress your character. You can do a dungeon, you can do certain quests, you know. And it is kind of like that now, but it's also so completely mapped out that, you know, if you wish to search it out, it's plain to see that there is a path of least resistance that you perhaps should consider taking at times. You know, I still try to avoid it, I think, and it has preserved some of the magic in a way for me. But I'll never be that, you know, noob, if you will, again.
Yeah.
Which actually were a real blessing, playing the game and not knowing what the hell is going on.
Absolutely.
You know, like...
Yeah, I think back in Classic, I a bit of a PvPer.
Yeah?
Yeah, I loved it. Probably was my favourite thing to do. Probably why it took me so long to get to max level back in day, because I just see these people in, you know, full rank 14 gear, or were it rank 14?
Yeah, rank 14 in Classic.
Yeah, I'd see people in this rank 14 gear and I'd just be like, yeah, can I play with you guys?
Yeah. He is clearly the man. Yeah.
Stand outside Orgrimmar for like a few hours just killing people while I should be leveling.
Yeah, and
really enjoyed it.
I was gonna say, I bet you really enjoyed it, yeah, and probably got some very fond memories of that kind of thing as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think I'll cut off these shattered bits. Don't think including those would be accurate. But yeah, I think in terms of getting that magic out of game and things, like you said, perhaps for us, there may have been even more magic than, let's say, my friend experienced as a grown adult playing game.
Yeah.
Because we were young and you're just more imaginative, and you know what I mean. It's
absolutely, yeah.
Small, strange things can captivate you completely and leave a lasting mark. and then you come back and play it again as an adult. Like certain games, for example, my first time playing through Fable, for example, completely, just, you know, incredible. Still good now, but not as good as when I was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
But,
stuff like Spyro and stuff, Crash, you know,
mm,
all the good stuff like Mario. I spent a lot of time playing Mario.
still very good, yeah.
The game's still, you know, all them games are still amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's different now. It's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
The outlook on it now is just, you know, it's not the same.
No, and
I think that's a part of growing up, and I think it's also just a part of where games have come to now, you know? Yes, they're still amazing games, but they're very simple games, and I think, like myself now, I look for more of a challenge in a game.
yeah, yeah. Some of my...
And that also, sorry to cut you off there, but
No, not at all.
falls back into how I now play this game, you know?
Yeah,
I try and challenge myself to do the best that I can, you know, and I can see that now through add-ons and, you know, an API, how I've performed.
yeah.
You know, that's just
You can quite literally put a number on it and have a judgeable metric by how, you know, how well you've done against everybody else too. It's not just your friends, a little pool, you know what I mean? It's who's the biggest fish in the sea kind of thing.
yeah.
Which, like I say, I can always appreciate why that is fun for some people. And I myself, some like my best adult memories of gameplay are just very recent, to be honest, coming from Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, that kind of thing. Challenging games feel good when you finish them.
Oh, for
And
sure.
if you come up with your own challenge that you can then, you know, finish, if you will, by doing well as you wish to, then yeah, probably that same sort of release, same sort of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see, I'd at times I'd like to introduce that into WoW, and occasionally, when it feels right to do so, like a solo challenge, I do. So, you know, like the Mage Tower stuff, loved it. I did them all.
Yeah.
And
Mage Tower.
the Proving Ground stuff, the Proven Defender, Healer, Assailant, all that stuff, just loved it. I'm not saying like I'd go back and do it week after week or something, but it was a challenge that I could see and then figure out.
Yeah.
Then it felt amazing to complete, and it's set itself in my mind as like a strong memory of a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very much in the same vein as that kind of Elden Ring feeling. But how do you find it stacks up, that kind of one-off challenges, when they're done, versus what you currently seek then, so the passing kind of challenge?
Good question, to be honest.
Bit of a tough one.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is a different challenge in that, well, it's definitely a different challenge, but I mean, when you've got a personal challenge, like a single player game or a single person challenge, like I was just describing in WoW there, the pressure's very much on you to perform, to do your best, whereas in a passing environment, you are absolutely reliant on everybody else doing well, which kind of feeds into that, I don't want to say toxicity again, but, you know, your enjoyment is directly tied to someone else's performance too.
Someone else's performance, yeah.
So if you've got people who are completely just, you know, either just bad at the game, unfamiliar, you can be great at the game, but if the first time you enter a raid, you're not going to master it.
That's true.
Or you know, just quite literally just sandbagging because it's, you know, its content's been out 6 weeks and they're sick of it. They're just turning up for a chance at a certain piece of loot or whatever.
Yeah.
Then
I mean,
they,
I feel like that's where it got to for me a little bit.
yeah,
After a while,
they're going to have a direct impact on your enjoyment of the game. Then at that point, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a tough one for me.
You see, I loved Elden Ring. I
Hmm.
love Dark Souls. I mean, I've got a Dark Souls themed tattoo on my arm.
Yeah, exactly.
For what they are, I think they're amazing.
Mhm.
But as of now, I don't know if this is just coming from growing up on an MMO and making friends.
Mhm.
I find it really hard to play single player games. And I don't know if that's just because I feel like there's no one to enjoy the journey with,
Right.
or it's I think it mainly falls into the social, you know.
I mean, an experience shared can be very good indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
it's unfortunate, there's a lot of single player games out there that I'd love to just absolutely dig my teeth into.
Yeah.
But I can play an hour. I can, and I'll think the game's amazing, but I physically just can't, mentally rather, just can't carry on playing them. And I think a lot of that's just to do with, growing up on a game like World of Warcraft where, you make sometimes friends for life.
Yeah.
You'd log on every day. There's always someone. There's always someone doing something.
Yeah, I'm with you. When it's alive, it's unbeatable.
Yeah, and obviously you just don't get that with single player games.
No, you don't. But I think, by contrast to that, then I love single player experiences. I suppose because of that solid solitude to them.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a loner, I suppose. It's just kind of. I love playing with my friends. Don't get me wrong, and I feel like I am a social animal. But if I had to pick, I mean, what comes out in my character the most? Like, let's say, WoW. It's predominantly MMO. A massively multiplayer online game. But for most of all the time I've played WoW, since not long after launch, I've played it as a single player game. Just finding things to do on my own.
We'd group up for little things, but
I would have short periods, a few months where we'd play together in a raid, and then
I mean, your guild title says it all, to be honest.
On our own, yeah, exactly. True.
Yeah.
that was literally made. God, when was that now? Wrath of the Lich King just came out, I think. We moved to this server chamber, and then me and Chloe made this guild, and it's been that ever since. Two player guild. I've never missed it. Like when I came over and played with you guys, that were on a completely different faction, so it all felt a bit like a new adventure. I'd never really played Alliance up until that point. I'd been in the zones, of course, as a horde character, but you can't interact like you can when you're actually questing through them. Mm-hmm. So that was a bit of a gift. That really filled me with some energy for it. Do I include this? I guess this is. Yeah. Sorry, I was just making an internal decision then as to whether to go around or I think I traced this. This is mainland. That other bit's now an island, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So playing through Alliance for the first time made the game feel new again. Not like when I was a kid, but yeah, it was a really good experience, and I wish I could, recreate that either even in a new expansion if they introduced a new way to play, that kind of thing, where it'd make you unfamiliar once again with the game and needing to learn.
Yeah,
Or,
I mean, I'm sure they're probably going to bring out another season. I think Season Discovery really reignited people's passion for World of Warcraft.
absolutely, and I know on the retail note as well, they are introducing some solo content soon. I think out of the delves
Sure.
that are coming in the next expansion. I
Right.
think it's like completable dungeons that you do with a small group of NPCs, which I think is, super up my street kind of thing. But probably won't be that well received. Do you know what I mean? I enjoyed the scenarios gameplay where you had 3 people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they seemed to just die a death and nobody ever talked about them ever again, but I quite enjoyed them. And I think it was that tight-knitness of them that I liked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certainly, I'd love if they'd try and revisit that kind of thing, because I feel like the WoW team must be making enough money still to invest in people researching and developing all facets of the game for people. It don't have to be just everything's tailored around raid content and, max level stuff.
Yeah.
It feels a little stacked, but maybe I'm a minority in the player base. You know what I mean? It feels a little stacked against like my kind of thing.
Yeah.
But back to what you were just saying, sorry, about the Season of Discovery thing. It absolutely, I'd love if the keep doing this kind of thing, keep doing more, treat it a bit like a Diablo season, maybe have it go faster.
Yeah.
Rather than this looks like it's on course to last, I don't know, a year or something, like the other seasonal thing did.
Yeah. I don't know if you checked your chat, by the way, mate.
Ah, neat. Yeah, I didn't notice. Sorry. Morning, Pete. Good to see you, mate. I've been that busy chatting away to me, mate. I've not read chat. He's just had to read it for me and send a text. I think I'm going down a dead end there. No good. But yeah, definitely some more Season of Discovery, mate. That kind of thing once again. I don't know how to reinvent that magic again and cause it to be fresh discoveries, but
Of course, yeah. I feel like they'd have to do something different the next time around. I am excited at the fact that they're going to be looking at using Karazhan crypts.
oh, for an upcoming
60
raid here
in phase 4.
Ah, no worries, Pete, mate. I'd worried you'd been thinking, God, he's ignoring me. I don't know. Yeah, that's one of those zones. It looked like so much effort had gone into the design and stuff of Karazhan crypts, only for it to never be used. A massive shame, and I am glad they're going to use it finally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to see if they do anything with Nessie.
Nessie. Hang on, where were we talking there?
The deep run tram.
Oh yeah, as you're travelling through and you can see it through glass.
You can see Nessie, yeah.
Ah, I didn't realise that one Nessie. So,
Yeah, it's called Nessie.
Yeah, I mean, why not? These are the kind of things, I'm sure people would love to
Absolutely.
to do, to experience. We are nearly finished, by the way, mate. I just turn around, the end is in sight.
I'm surprised it actually took 51 minutes. Well,
I know.
53, something like that. It's crazy.
I can't remember. I think I guessed at the start around about, did I say an hour or something?
I think you said 40 minutes.
40 minutes? Oh, fair enough. Yeah, so I were a bit wrong there.
I was thinking, after you got down to Theramore, that we'd probably be looking at like 30. Like nearly an hour.
It has taken a while, hasn't it? It's definitely been a long one. But from this, bit of a reasonably accurate circumference for the entire coastline. Why not?
Indeed.
I mean, only way I think I could do it perhaps more accurately would be to actually swim it in, you know, in druid aquatic form.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be there for that.
No, I expected I expected it some more snags on that as well, because you're hard to aggro, aren't you, when you're flying?
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it'd be fine anyway. There's nothing really that's gonna, you know, be level 70
well,
around these areas.
you say that. Did you notice as we were flying down towards Ratchet really early on, a level 73 elite shark in water?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, loads of elf. I think it'd have probably murdered me. Mate, we're nearly here. I won't keep you too long. I will wrap things up. So, pause. 52 minutes, 41 seconds. Wow. That was an epic journey. I enjoyed that, to be honest with you. It really was a bit of fun, you know what I mean?
It was.
I
It definitely didn't feel like that long.
no.
Just
I do. I wonder if these are to scale.
conversation.
You know, the well, I think that's it. Yeah, you having a nice chat with me and stuff made it go a lot quicker. But I wonder if these are to scale then, these map segments, because I would expect the Dragon Isles to be actually way bigger than it looks there.
Yeah.
Because it feels huge. If ever you know, when you're first leveling through and you're not yet got your dragon, you feel like you're getting nowhere.
True.
That could be interesting to see. I mean, I'll have some idea, I guess, once I've measured this versus then, let's say, Eastern Kingdoms, and if I'm having fun with it still. Moving on, measuring.
More continents to do. So.
Yeah, exactly. Oh wow, yeah. In fact, Outland, Shadowlands, Draenor. I wonder how different in size.
Completely forgot about the other ones as well. Never mind.
Yeah,
true. To do.
New content farms. Yeah. Oh well, I think that's everything I wanted to do for this stream. I just thought it's going to be a task. Why not stream it? And now I've got a little bit of a record of it for as long as I want. You know what I mean? So thanks very much for having a nice, cool chat with me there, Steve. And thank you, Pete, if you're still here, mate, for jumping in. Sorry there's been no Astro chat or anything. I just, it's been killing me lately, mate, as astronomy. I needed a little break from it, you know what I mean? On the note of astronomy, though, I do have some bits coming out soon. I've finally got that Ask Guy review ready to put together, I think. And suppose breaking news for you, Pete, and nobody else knows this yet. I've decided to buy that scope and keep it. I liked it that much. I think next stream I gotta get my webcam working, because that was very annoying that it were working fine earlier and now packed in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it, eh? I'd best go get some rest, because I am absolutely shattered. Thanks again, Steve, for the nice chat, mate.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
You'll have to think about something to talk to me about for the next one.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for this.
No. Fair enough. Alright then, that's about it for the stream then. Cheers for watching, anybody who had a look. And I'll catch you later on, Pete. Cheers, mate, bye.